Auto Obsessed here. This is part 2 of our 3-part video series on how to get the max sale price when selling your used car, or what to do to get the best detail and results on your daily driven vehicle. We're doing everything we can do to bring this 11-year-old daily driver up to its best possible look. The objective for this project is to get the car looking great so it'll fetch the highest possible price on the used car market. This 2010 Porsche Cayenne S has 200,000 kilometers on the clock. Mechanically, it's been well maintained, but cosmetically, time and miles have taken their toll. In our previous video on this car, we went through a deep decontamination wash and inspection to find all the areas of the car where we could make the most improvements. We found it was ripe for a paint correction due to severe swirls and marring all over the body of the car. Also, the paint protection film that was partially installed on the front has to go. The paint protection film has been on this car for 11 years and will not come off easily. We'll have to use a few approaches to remove it safely, starting with heat to help soften the adhesive and make the material more flexible and release some of the tension it'll have on the paint. For this, we'll start with using a steamer. After we finish removing the paint protection film, next we'll have to tackle the leftover adhesive. We'll use an adhesive remover to get all the leftover glue residue off of the paint so these areas are ready for polishing. Okay, so we removed the paint protection film on this car. It had the paint protection film to about 18-20 inches or so. And this is a perfect example of two things. One, why paint protection film is so important, and two, why we never recommend having the first portion of the hood done. So I'll bring out the light so you can see. So the first section of the hood up to right here had the film on it. Now we're showing exactly where a lot of the debris went. So the paint protection film did its job perfectly. This paint is uncorrected at this point, and it has a few penetrations through the film, but not a whole lot. And when we polish it, we're going to get some really good results out of that. This area here where it was unprotected has millions of rock chips, and there's no way we're going to be able to turn back time and ever get it to look like this. So if you're considering paint protection film and you have a vehicle, something like this, where it has a big slope on the hood, don't forget there is no way you're going to keep all the rocks just into that one section. You're going to want to always go full hood, full fenders. You can never turn back the clock and restore the paint. It would have to be completely repainted in order to get that, and most of us know that you can never get the same results that you do with a factory paint job. So once again, perfect example of what it looks like, how paint protection works, and what it's like when you have areas that do get impacted that don't have any protection on them. With the car washed, decontaminated, and the old film off the front, we're ready to start the paint correction. Polishing the paint to smooth out all those thousands, if not millions, of swirl marks and scratches. The first step in paint correction is to mask off the plastics, rubber, and any of the delicate areas with tape to protect these areas from the polishers, pads, and compounds, and also make cleanup a heck of a lot easier afterwards. This car has extensive damage, and a single stage correction will do virtually nothing. Our first step off camera is to test the different areas and determine what combination of polishers, pads, and compounds we'll need to use and how many stages we'll need to polish. For this car, we determined that we'll be performing a 3-stage paint correction. We'll be using a 1-inch, 3-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch polishers. We used a rotary for the first stage heavy cutting, forced rotation for the second stage medium cut, and finally long throw machines for the third and final finishing stage. Here we polish the mirrors using a 3-inch machine, which works great on the curves and the smaller areas that a larger machine just won't perform well on. To correct the painted door handles, we used a 1-inch root base nano polisher to do the small areas and get into those tight spots. The black piano plastic on the B-pillars took a beating over the years and are not even black anymore. But with some multi-stage correcting, they are coming along nicely. Let's check in on the progress of this car. We're in the polishing stages, and at first glance, the paint looks amazing. Even in our studio lighting, where we have over 500,000 lumens of light output, it still doesn't give us a true representation of what it looks like in direct sunlight. So let's inspect the paint to reveal what it actually looks like. So here's the uncorrected side. The corrected side. Over the years, the debris, scratches, and swirls has built up between the lettering of the rear badging. This will be very difficult to deal with and will not yield the results we are looking for. So we're going to remove the rear badging to clean and polish the area properly. When the area is completed, we'll reinstall the new badging, and that'll add just that extra level of detail and will no longer detract from the rest of the car. The next step after we have finished all the polishing is to apply the paint protection film. Now, this is not something that would normally occur in cases when you're selling a vehicle, as it's an extra cost and could be left as is for the new owner to decide if they want paint protection film on the car or not. In the case of the current owner, he wanted this vehicle's paint protection replaced and even added several more areas. We installed the paint protection film to the front bumper, full hood, full front fenders, headlights, fog lights, mirrors, A-pillars, partial roof, B-pillars, and the rear luggage area. This vehicle now has all the critical impact areas protected and is looking fantastic. The film is so perfect that it's extremely difficult to see even in our super bright 500,000 lumen studio. The paint on this car, although compromised in some areas, is absolutely gleaming. We have new paint protection film in place, and we're ready to address the interior and finally apply a last step finishing product to the exterior. This car is going to look amazing in photos and will blow the socks off of any buyers who come to see it in person. I can tell you, looking at the car, we're not even done with it yet, but the owner's goal of getting the best sale price is a lock. It's looking awesome. We're going to stop here today, and in the next video with this Cayenne, we'll do the interior and finish the outside. It's going to look amazing, so please click like and subscribe here to get notified when the new one comes out. And thank you for watching.